Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced Replay. We are at the next to last game of May the 8th. It's game number 190 on the season, and we are at County Stadium in Milwaukee for the Seattle Mariners against the Milwaukee Brewers. Kind of a tale of two different teams. Milwaukee comes to the game 19-7. Seattle comes in 9-19, but that's why you roll the dice and play the games, because you never know. You just never know what the dice are going to say. And it's not a given that the Brewers are going to win. Good pitching matchup. Teddy Higuera on the mound for the Brewers and Mark Langston, arguably the two aces of the teams, will be facing off. Ballpark effect, singles are 1-6 for lefties and righties. Home runs are 1-5. Running game is going to be controlled by both pitchers because Higuera is a -1, but O'Brien's a -2 for a net -3. Langston's a +1, but Valley's a -3, so that's going to be a net -2 for him. Hello, Dav. Good morning to you. Got our dice as close as I could get to the Milwaukee Brewer colors. I guess it kind of fits in with Seattle a little bit as well, but we'll just go with it and see how it does. I'm hoping I have this enough to show the tray. I think I do, but I don't want to get it out of, I want it to be lined up. I think that's better right there. I think that fits everything. And it also, I think you can see the dice rolls best in that position. So that's what we will go with. So we will get this thing moving. I got the game on the Strat-O-Matic computer, of course, to score it as we play it. So let's get the final of the, hello, Mike in the truck. How you doing? Let's get the replay stats for starting pitcher Teddy Higuera. He's 3-1 with a 4.07 earned run average, 42 innings pitched, 41 hits, 16 walks, and 43 strikeouts. So that's how he's doing on the replay. And leading off will be John Holy Moses, center fielder. Moses is really struggling at a $195, a homer and 9 driven in. He hit 246 real world. Does have 11 stolen bases on the season. So if he gets on, he is a threat to run. So we'll see what happens. That's a 311 against the left-hander, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-6, but that's a 17. So he will line it to short, where Dale Swain will cough it in. And that's one away. Here's Phil Bradley, left fielder. Bradley on the replay hitting 200. He's also struggling, which is part of the reason why Seattle's 9-19. He hit 297 in real world, but in the replay, he's only hitting an even 200 with 3 home runs and 9 driven in. Had 105 at bats, but he's hitting, I think he's got 21 hits. I think that's what it accumulates to. 3-6 against the lefty. He's going to draw a base on balls, and he is definitely a threat to run despite the hold rating of Higuera. Bradley to get the lead is a 2-5. And Bradley has 3. He stole 40 bases on the season. He's got 3 so far. So he's going to try to get that lead. 2-5 gets him the lead. He does not get the lead, so he will not go. And that will bring up John Christensen, the right fielder. He's in there against the lefty. Normally it'd be Kingery, but the lefty Kingery is sitting, and the righty Christensen is batting against Higuera. Christensen on the replay, only 17 at bats. He's hitting 294, no homers, and 2 runs driven in. That's a 3-8 against the lefty. That's another walk. So back-to-back walks for Higuera, both coming off the batter's card, I do believe, but either way they count. And now we got first and second with 1 out for the hound dog, Jim Presley. And Presley on the replay checks in a $170. Boy, I tell you, these Seattle hitters are really struggling, which is why the team is struggling. He's hitting a $170, 3 homers, 12 driven in. He hit 247 real world. So again, that's why the struggles are going on. So Higuera to Presley. 6-5 against the right-hander, struck him out. So he struck him out, first strikeout for Higuera to go with his 2 walks. And now he can get out of the inning if he gets first baseman Alvin Davis. It is a lefty-on-lefty matchup. But Davis, I think, hits lefties decently as well. He's hitting 286 on the replay, 3 homers, 9 driven in. Clutch situation, and in the clutch against lefties, he loses a hit on 2-8. Everything else, he's neutral. That's a 5-6 left-handed. That's a single to center field. So that could very well score Bradley. I think I'm almost guaranteed to score Bradley. Bradley runs at a 16. Being held makes him a 15, but the 2 outs makes him a 17. So 17, and it's hit to center field. Center fielder arm. Yount is a +2, makes it an 18. So they will allow the run to score and try to keep other runners from moving up. So base hit for Alvin Davis scores the run. Christensen will stop at second. First and second, 1 in, 1 out. Actually, 2 outs, rather. And Dave Valley. Hello, Ernest. Dave Valley, your batter. Valley hitting .243 and just 37 at bats. 1 homer and 3 driven in. So the Mariners strike first here in the first. Looking for more. 2-9, and he's going to pop it up to second base, and Castillo will bring it in, and that's going to do it for the Mariners. But they do get a run here in the top of the first. And we go to the bottom of the first. It's Seattle 1 and the Brewers coming to bat. Seattle in the unfamiliar territory of having a lead. And their ace, Mark Langston, is on the mound, although he's not having an ace-type season so far. But certainly with his numbers, he certainly, you would think, would his real world numbers lend him to be an ace. He was 19 and 13 in real world. He's 2 and 4 on the replay. 2 and 4 with a 6.10 earned run average. 38 innings pitched, 44 hits, 14 walks, and 48 strikeouts. Castillo, the switch hitter, is hitting a .184, no homers, 2 driven in. That's a 6'10 switch hitter, and that's a ballpark single check, 1 to 6. That's a 19, so that's going to fail. It'll just be a fly to center, and there's 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Robin Yount, center fielder. Yount on the replay hitting .318, 6 homers, 24 driven in. He hit .312 real world, so he's pretty much right on pace. 6'3 against the lefty, against a right-handed hitter, rather. 6'3. Right field X chance. Christensen's a 3E6. 3 and a 6, that's questionable. We'll see if he can get to it. A 3 and a 6 is going to be a single. It's going to drop in for Robin Yount. His error is an E6, and he's got to avoid 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18, which he does. But it's going to be a base hit for Robin Yount as it drops in front of Christensen for a 1-out single. And that will send up. Well, Yount could get the lead on a 5 or a 6. So he's going to try for the lead. Does not get the lead. He will hold. Here's Glenn Braggs. Braggs on the replay. Hitting .284, 3 homers, 21 driven in. He hit .269 real world. 5-9 against a right-hander for Langston is a strikeout, and that is his first strikeout of the game. As he puts away Braggs, and now it's Bill Schroeder, the designated hitter, in the cleanup position. He .246, a homer, and 10 driven in. Hit .332 real world, but he's only had 57 at bats. That's a 6-7, and that's a base on balls. That's going to keep the inning going. And the baton is now passed to Dale Swain, the shortstop. Swain on the replay hitting .301, 6 homers, 21 driven in. And he hit .252 real world. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Like I said, it hasn't hit me yet because even if I wasn't retired, I'd still be doing what I'm doing right now because it's a weekend. Now, tomorrow morning, it'll hit me differently. All right, here is Dale Swain. 110, left-handed. That's a single to center field. This could score Yount. Center fielder Arm Moses is a 0. Yount is a 16. Being held makes him a 15, but 2 outs makes him a 17. 1 to 17. They're going to throw through because Schroeder can't make third because he's so slow. So they're going to take a shot at him. 1 to 17. He's safe. And he's in there. So base hit for Swain, and we got a tie ball game just that quickly. Yount will score, and the Brew Crew have tied it, 1 apiece. Each team with a 2-out single to score a run. And now Greg Brock, the batter. Lefty on lefty. Brock hitting .347, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He hit .299 real world. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Langston. But the Brewers tie the game, and at the end of 1, it's 1-1. Higuera back out, and he'll be facing the designated hitter, Rich Renteria. Doesn't get many at-bats. He had 10 at-bats all season, was 1 for 10, which was a double. That was his only hit, was a double. That's why his card is loaded with doubles here. But that was against a right-hander. Now he's facing lefty Higuera. He won't get a hit on his own card. He might walk, but he's not going to get a hit unless he gets something off of Higuera's card. So, but this is one of those games he starts. So on the replay, this is his first at bat. He has not hit all season. So this is his first plate appearance of the season for Renteria. 1-8, and he will strike out. Second strikeout for Higuera. 1 down for Ray Quinones, the shortstop. Quinones hitting .217, no homers, 10 driven in. Another guy struggling. He hit .276 real world. 4-9, and that's a base on balls. That's the 3rd walk issued by Higuera. I think it's the first one that came off his own card. Quinones will not be held. Does not run well. And here comes Harold Reynolds, Mr. Baseball Tonight. He's hitting .264, no homers, 5 driven in, hit .275 real world. Facing Higuera. Nothing on the havoc roll. That's a 2-4, and that's going to be a ballpark single check, 1-6. That's a 5. It will be a base hit for Harold Reynolds. Runners at first and second with 1 out for John Moses. Moses lined to short his first time up. Hello, Ben. Wonder why the notifications aren't working, Ben. I don't know why. Oh, I've got Jeremy. I got a lot of housework to do and yard work. That was particularly yard work. Housework's not so much. We just got some stuff to clean up after Tabby, but to try to really probably get the carpet cleaner out and do some serious carpet cleaning. But main work is outside. A lot of limbs and pine needles and pine cones and just general stuff that needs to be cleaned up. So now that I've got the time to do it, because when you work all week, Saturday I cut the grass, and that's about all I feel like doing. I don't feel like doing anything extra. But now I've got time to do it, so now is the time to do it. So do it in the morning before it gets hot, though, because now we're into June. It's starting to get hot. I don't want to be out there in 90-degree weather. Here's Higuera, 4-11. Moses switch hitter batting right-handed. 4-11's a fly ball right field X. That is Braggs. He's a 3-E-13. 3 and a 6. I think that's going to drop again. 3 and a 6 is definitely a single 2 stars. So that will score the run. Quinones will score from second. Reynolds will take third. And we're going to check for an error. He is an E13. So he has to avoid 6, 4, 12, 15, and 17. That's a 12. It's going to be an error. That's a 2-base error on Mr. Braggs. E13 and a 12. So it's a single plus a 2-base error is going to send Moses all the way to third. And, of course, Reynolds will score as well. So 1 RBI given to Moses. Reynolds will score not on the RBI, but on the error. But either way you go, it's not a good play for the Brewers, as Braggs really having some issues. So 1 out and runner at third. The infield's going to have to come in. They have really no choice. They can't allow another cheap run to come through on a ground ball B, so they're going to have to play the infield in against Phil Bradley. That's a 4-5 right-hander, and that is a fly ball C, so it's not deep enough to score the run. It's a fly ball to center field. Yount fields it, but it is not deep enough for the run to come in and score. So that's a break for Higuera right there. Not having that run score. Now the infield can return to normal duties. Their normal locations for John Christensen in the clutch. Christensen in the clutch will lose a hit on 1-12 and 1-6 and on 2-6. So definitely anti-clutch is Mr. Christensen. That's a 3-7, and he's going to strike out just to prove his anti-clutch. He strikes out to end the inning. But 2 runs come in. Only one of them are earned, but they all count the same. And we go to the bottom of the second. It's 3-1 in favor of the Seattle Mariners, to some people's surprise. But it's still early, only the bottom of the second. So lots of things can happen with that. Langston takes the mound with a 3-1 lead. Pashorik is going to be the left fielder, and he will get a swing. In limited duty, he's had 18 at-bats. He is hitting .389. No homers, 2 driven in. But again, limited duty. 3-7, he's going to strike out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Langston. 3rd strikeout for Mr. Langston. And here's Charlie O'Brien, catcher. O'Brien on the replay is 0 for 3. He's only had 3 at-bats. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He hit 200 in real world. He was 7 for 35 real world. Looking for his first hit of the season. 5-10. Might get it. Fly ball center field X if it drops, but he's a 2-E5 for Mr. Moses. 2-E5. 2 and a 7. I believe he'll actually get to that. Oh, wrong chart. Let's get the outfield chart in here. It flipped around on me. 2 and a 7 is going to be an F2, so that's good enough. Center fielder, he is an E5, so he has to avoid 4, 16, and 17, which he does. So it's good play for John Moses. Takes care of O'Brien. 2 down. And that will send us to Jim Gantner, the actually the 3rd baseman. He's playing 3rd while Molitor is injured. He's hitting .342, no homers, 4 driven in, hit .272 real world. So he's definitely above his skis a little bit. 5-6 is another strikeout for Langston, his 4th. And after 2 innings, he has got 4 strikeouts, and he's got a 3-1 lead to work with. That's why I said you can't go by the records, because you never know what the dice are going to show. So Higuera is back out, and he'll be facing Presley, Davis, and Valley in the top of the 3rd. But the Mariners lead it 3-1. It's a 1-5, and that's a ground ball to short. Dale Swain will take care of it, and the Hound Dog is retired. 1 away for Alvin Davis. He had an RBI single his first time up. 1-4, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. So Castillo will take care of that. 2 up, 2 down. And Dave Valley, the catcher. .511, and that's going to be a ballpark single check, 1-6, but that's a 15, so it's going to be a liner to short. Swain fields it, and that's going to do it for the Mariners. 3 up and 3 down. Higuera needed a 3 up, 3 down inning. And now we go to the bottom 3rd. It's still 3-1 in favor of the Mariners. So leadoff man Juan Castillo will be up to face Langston. He flew to center his first time up. 1-9, and that is a ground ball to short. Quinones, no problems, 1 away. That brings up Robin Yount. Yount singled and scored his first trip. 4-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. That's Harold Reynolds. Did he watch baseball tonight enough? He's a 2E21. 218, he will get to that. So he definitely knew how to play positioning there from baseball tonight. Now E21. He's got to avoid 4, 13, and 17. He should be able to do that. And he does. So Harold Reynolds makes the play. 2 down. For Glenn Braggs, who had that big error that allowed an unearned run in the second inning. 5-10, and that is a fly ball center field X. That is Moses. He's a 2E5. 2 and a 1. That's going to get through and drop for a double. 2 and a 1 is a double. So a double for Glenn Braggs. We're going to check for an error. He's an E5 center fielder. Center fielder with an E5. Got to avoid 4, 16, and 17. 4, 16, and 17. Which he does, but it will be a double. 2-out double for Glenn Braggs. He will not be held at second. And here's Bill Schroeder. Schroeder walked his first chance. 6-7, and that's another walk. So a second walk. Both walks issued by Langston have been to Schroeder. And that'll send it over to Dale Swain. Clutch situation against a lefty. He gains a hit on 2-8. So that's his one clutch hit there. It's 2-8. Gains that clutch hit. See if he can. Actually gains it on 2-11 and 2-12. So he's definitely good in the clutch. You can find column 2, but he found column 5. 5/8's a strikeout. And Langston said, I'm good in the clutch too. And he struck him out to end the inning. So at the end of 3, it is still Seattle 3 and Milwaukee 1. Definitely a little bit of a surprise, but there's still 6 innings to go and anything can happen in Strat-O-Matic with these dice. So here's Renteria, the DH. He struck out his first chance. 6-6, and that is a single 1-4. Anything else he lines out, but that's a 1. The evil devil die comes up low again, and Renteria gets his first hit of the season. He, of course, will not be held. Here's Quinones. Walked and scored his first time up. 3-10, and that's going to be a split chance. 1-7's a single. That's an 18, so he lines it to short. And Swain is there to grab it. 1 away for the number 9 man, Harold Reynolds. He's back up to see what he can do. That's a 4-11, and that's a fly ball right field exit. We're checking Glenn Braggs again. He had that big error last time. This is a 3E13 for Braggs. 3 and a 7. Can he get to that? 3 and a 7, he does. But the runner will advance on an F1. So how about that? So that means Renteria gets second base automatically on the F1. But now we're checking for the E13 section. And 6, 4, 12, 15, and 17 need to be avoided, especially that 12. That's a 14, and he's going to avoid it. So it will be a flyout, but it's so deep that Renteria will make it to second base on the F1. So with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, we flip the order to John Moses. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. John Moses has lined to short and singled. 3-9, and he's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Seattle comes away empty-handed, top of the 4th, but they do still lead it 3-1 over Higuera and the Brewers. Langston back out, and he'll be facing the bottom portion of the order, Brock, Paciorek, and O'Brien. That Milwaukee lineup has not been the same since Paul Molitor went out with injury. 3-7, and that is going to be a leadoff walk for Greg Brock. Third walk issued by Langston to go with 5 strikeouts. Brock will not be held, and here is Paciorek playing left field. Nothing on the havoc. 2-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-6, that's a 1. It'll be a base hit. Evil Devil Die comes up again with a 1, and Paciorek will take advantage. First and second, nobody out for Charlie O'Brien. He's only a C bunter. I would bunt here, but with just being a C bunter, I'm not sure that's a good gamble there. But he is susceptible to double plays too. Boy. But if he has a bad bunt, you could bunt into a double play. Wow. We're going to have him swing away. Charlie O'Brien will swing away. It's a 6-7, and that's a walk. So another walk issued by Langston, his fourth, and that's going to load the bases. So bases are loaded with nobody out. And back come the Brewers now. Gantner up, bases loaded, nobody out. Infield looking for the double play. They'll give up the run to get those valuable outs. Gantner struck out his first chance. 3-4. It's a ballpark single check. 1-6, but that's not going to do it. It's a pop up to second base. That's going to be out number 2. Everybody has to hold. And now it's all down to Castillo in the clutch. He loses a hit on 112 and on 310. So he's anti-clutch in 2 spots against Langston. Last time Langston was in trouble, he was proved he was clutch. He struck out Brock to end the first, and he struck out Swain to end the third. Let's see what he does here in the fourth against Castillo. 4-8. And that's going to be a single to center field. So it wasn't clutch that time. Castillo was. Castillo singles. Brock is going to score. The runner on second, Paciorek, runs at a 12. Not being held is a 13. 2 outs is a 15. The single to center, 0 arm, 1-15. They are going to send him, and the throw is coming home. 1-15, he scores. And he does. So it's a 2-run single from Castillo. We got a tie ball game. O'Brien will stop at second base because he's a slow runner. But a 2-run single for Juan Castillo has tied the game at 3. Tied the game at 3. I'm sorry, there's only 1 out. You are correct. But he would have scored anyway. You are correct. There's only 1 out, but he would have scored anyway because of the low roll. So, but yes, thank you for checking that on me, Ben. Keep me honest. So here is Robin Yount. Score is tied at 3. There is only 1 out. Runners are at first and second. 1-2, and that's a line-out max injury. That's trouble for Milwaukee. First of all, he lines it to third, and they will double off O'Brien at second base. It's going to go liner to 5 and a 5-4 double play. That's going to end the inning. But more importantly, we're checking on Robin Yount for injury. He's going to have to come out of this game. If we roll a 1-4, he can stay in the game. He cannot, so he's got to leave. So we will get a new center fielder in the game for the Brewers, as Yount has to go. But the Brewers do tie the game at 2, but Yount is going to have to leave the game. And we'll figure out who the new center fielder is going to be. So let's see here. Whoops. Got to go into the computer and change out the defense. So coming into play center field looks like it's going to be Rick Manning. Rick Manning will be coming on to play center field. Here in the 5th inning. So Rick Manning. So Manning is a 2-0 and an E15 for Manning. So this is Manning now. For the injured Yount. But we are tied up at 3 apiece after 4 innings as we head to the 5th. Both starting pitchers, well, actually Langston can go 8. Higuera can go 7 before fatiguing. So they're definitely in good shape. Coming up for the Mariners, it'll be Bradley, Christensen, and Presley against Higuera. But now it's a brand new ball game, 3-3. 5-12, and that's going to be a ballpark blast for Bradley. 1-5, that is a 5, and that is gone. Bradley's normal power. Look at it again, It's a ballpark blast against the right-hander. He has normal power against lefties. That's a 1-5, and that is a 5. So Phil Bradley, home run number 4, RBI number 10 on the season, and the Mariners are back in front just that quickly. Took one batter, and Phil Bradley did it to give the Mariners a 4-3 lead. Here's Christensen. 3-9, and that's a walk. Another base on balls by Higuera, and that is the 4th walk issued by Higuera. Christensen will not try to get any kind of lead or anything like that. Doesn't run all that well, and the Hound Dog is coming up. Presley struck out and grounded to short. 5-10, and that's a catcher X. That's Charlie O'Brien. He's a 2E3. 2 and a 3. Boy, these low numbers. The evil D20 keeps coming up. 2 and a 3 for a catcher is a W/G. So that's a possible, I believe, possible wild pitch coming up. Catcher error. O'Brien's a E3. So the only error is 3, 16, and 18. So there's no error there. But we go to W/G, and it says, with runners on base, the pitcher uncorks a wild pitch. So that kind of takes care of that, doesn't it? Wild pitch, and Christensen will move up. Second base. Takes the double play out of order, which is huge. Could have got out of a lot of trouble with the double play, but not going to happen now. 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating on Higuera, and his balk rating is a 3. So could we have a wild pitch and a balk back-to-back? We do not. All right, we move on. Not lately, Jeremy. She's right outside the door sleeping on her blanket. She's very content, and I'm not going to mess with her. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. So Presley out on strikes. That is strikeout number 4. So you got 4 walks and 4 strikeouts for Higuera. But Presley is out of there. And that'll send up Alvin Davis. 1 in, 1 out, and 1 on. 3-5, and that is a trouble for Higuera. 3-5 is a 1-2 double. Anything else is a single, 2 stars, and that will score the run. That's where the wild pitch confirms the run right there. He would have stopped at third otherwise, but the wild pitch creates the run with the single, 2 stars, and the Mariners take a 5-3 lead. And Higuera is in serious trouble of being lifted. Dave Valley, the batter. Valley's popped to short and popped to second and line to short. 4-3, fly ball left field X, and that is the short, but he's a 4E10, so that's not very good. 4 and a 13, he might catch a break. 4 and a 13 is an F1. The runners are going to advance, but at least he makes the catch. So the runner on first base, Davis, will get to second base on the fly out to left field. But now we're checking for an error. Pashork is an E10. So he's got some numbers here to avoid. 3, 4, and then 14 through 18. So basically 14 through 18 he's got to avoid. And he does. So Pashork does make the catch for out number 2. But going to second base is Alvin Davis. That's the second time a runner has tagged up from first in this game because of the F1s. Don't see that very often, but we saw it just there. So Renteria steps to the plate in a clutch situation. 1-4, and he's going to fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But 2 more runs come in, and the 2 runs that Milwaukee used to tie the game have been used against them here in the top of the 5th, and it's back to a 2-run deficit, 5-3. And the Brewers looking to claw their way back. We'll start with Glenn Braggs. He struck out and doubled. 3-11, and that's a ground ball to Harold Reynolds. Using his baseball tonight acumen, he makes that catch and throw to first. Accurate, on-time, pinpoint throw with all the fundamentals, and that's 1 away. Here's Schroeder. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. Langston with strikeout number 6. Takes care of Schroeder. Langston looking for the shutdown inning, as they call it. And here's Swain. He's 1 for 2. It's a 4-8 switch hitter, and that's a single to center field, so he can't get the 1-2-3 inning. But Swain is not a threat to run, so he will hold. But the tying run is on base, and Greg Brock. Brock has struck out and walked. 2-5, and that's a ground ball to first. Davis will make the play unassisted to end the inning. So that's going to do it through 5 innings. It's the Mariners 5 and the Brewers 3. Brewers bullpen is loosening. So we'll look at the bullpen and see who has the most rest. Might be Basio. Let's double check it here. I don't want to bring in a tired pitcher, so let's see here. Basio, Clear, Krim, and Plesac, and actually the whole bullpen is rested, so they could bring anybody they want or use anybody they want. So it looks like Chris Basio is loosening in the Milwaukee bullpen. So he might be coming on if Higuera runs into more issues. Here's Quinones to start the 6th. 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Swain. And Swain's a 3 E25. 3 and a 14, he'll get to that, but the E25 is questionable. E25 and a 10. Usually 10s are okay in most cases. E25 and a 10. There is no 10, so it's good play. As one shortstop takes care of another. And that brings up Harold Reynolds. Reynolds, 5-4. That's a 1-7 home run, but he has weak power. 1-7 is going to end up being a single. That's a 4, so he does not get the home run. He gets, because he's weak power, he just gets the single. So that's going to take care of that. So the single, after the ground out to short, Reynolds will single because he did not have the power to get the home run. But now he's got the power to get the lead. 2 through 6 or a 9. That's a 9. He gets the lead. So he starts as an 18, but he holds a 16. And then for Higuera, -3 is a 13. So 1-13, and Harold Reynolds will steal it. And he does, right on the number. Boy, that Baseball Tonight IQ is working in overtime for Harold Reynolds as he gets the stolen base. Gets in the scoring position. For John Moses with 1 out and a runner in second base. Higuera 3-4 to Moses as a pop-up to second base. Castillo is there, and Reynolds will have to hold at second base. And now a clutch situation for Phil Bradley. Bradley homered his last time up, so Higuera has to be careful. 3-2. It's a ground ball to third, and that'll do it. Gantner over to first will end it. And Seattle comes away empty-handed here in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th we go. Langston will be facing the bottom of the order, Pachorik, O'Brien, and Gantner for the Brew Crew. Whoa, we got a hop and dice, so we got to redo that. Only counts if all 4 dice fall in the tray and are not leaning or stacked. 2-8. That's a ground ball to short. Quinones handles it with ease. 1 away, and here's Charlie O'Brien. He has flown to center and walked. 1-7, he will walk again. And for Langston, that is walk number 5 to go with 6 strikeouts. So he's been a little erratic. And that'll bring up Gantner. O'Brien, of course, not going to be held. Gantner, 0 for 2. 4-6, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 7 for Mr. Langston. Soon you think he's in trouble, he comes up with a big strikeout. So here is Castillo. Castillo is 1 for 3. 3-8, and he's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So we played 6 here in Milwaukee, and the score is Seattle 5 and Milwaukee 3. And this will be the fatigue inning for Higuera, so we'll keep an eye on him. Basio has sat down, but Chuck Creme de la Creme, a right-hander, is loosening in the bullpen. John Christensen is batting. Now we're in the 7th inning, so pinch hitters and whatnot are freely able to be done. Here is Christensen. 2-11, and that's a fly to center. The new center fielder, Rick Manning, makes that catch. 1 away. 1 down for the Hound Dog Presley, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 4-8, and he's got his 3rd strikeout. That's the hat trick. And for Higuera, that is strikeout number 5. And 2 up and 2 down, so Higuera still keeping full endurance. We'll be facing Alvin Davis. 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. That is Castillo, a 3E21. 3 and a 10 should be okay. 3 and a 10 is a G2, and E21 has to avoid 4, 13, and 17. And he can't avoid the 13. I'll tell you what, that 13 comes up more than I care for it. But the E21 and 13 is a 1 base error on Castillo. 2nd error on the Brewers, as they're playing a little bit of a sloppy game. Here's Bally. He's 0 for 3. Higuera should have been out of the inning. 3-4. And that's a ballpark blast, 1-5, but that's an 8, so it's a deep fly to left, and Higuera can breathe a sigh of relief. That was almost gone. In advanced, it would have been a home run, but not in super advanced. So Higuera, they may go ahead and just cap him at 7 innings. I think they will, actually. He wasn't sharp on his game, so they're going to have Chuck Creme come in and pitch the 8th. Creme will be coming in to pitch the 8th. Let's get the numbers on Higuera in his 7 innings of work. Get all his totals for you. Should be 5 runs, 4 earned, if I calculated it correctly. Actually, it's 3 earned. 5 runs and 3 earned. So 5 runs and 3 earned is what they're telling me. What the computer is telling me. So they're saying that both of these runs were unearned. That one was earned, should have been, because he was already on 2nd. So I don't know. Might question that one, but we'll go with it. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. But it's a Strat computer, can never be wrong, right? So, all right. So we are at the 7th inning stretch, and obviously what that typically means is take me out to the ball game, and that's exactly where we're going. So I'm going to stretch with everybody, and hopefully you are enjoying your Sunday morning, and let's do a little take me out to the ball game. All right, that will do it for the 7th inning stretch. And we will move on to the bottom of the 7th. Langston will be facing Rick Manning, who came in as a replacement for the injured Robin Yount. He will get his first at bat of the ball game. So let's get Manning's numbers. He has limited duty. In 17 at bats, Rick Manning is hitting .353. Only at .228 real world, but it's only been 17 at bats, so can't really go by that. Oh, we got no more hopping dice. Let's try again. Hello, Triple G. 6-5, lefty on lefty is a fly to right field. And that's hauled in by Christensen, one away, and that's going to bring up not Castillo, it's going to bring up Braggs. I don't know where Castillo came from. Braggs is your scheduled hitter. He's 1 for 3. .17, and that's another strikeout for Langston, his 8th. Langston trying for his 3rd win in 7 decisions, trying to get closer to that 500 mark. Here's Schroeder. 6-3, that's a fly ball right field X. That is Christensen, a 3-E6. 3-11, I think you'll get to that. E6, we'll check it out. E6 and a 6. That should be okay, I would think. E6, there is no 6. 3-11 is an F2, so that's good enough. So fly to right ends the inning. And Langston's going to go 7 at least, and he's looking to go 8 because he has he doesn't start endurance until next inning. So Langston may very well be just looking for a complete game and not even trusting the bullpen. We shall see. But new pitcher coming in for the Brewers will be Chuck Creme de la Creme, a right-hander. And we'll get the numbers off of Creme and see how he's done on the replay. Creme on the replay checks in. He's 0-0 with 3 saves, 2.45 earned run average, 18 innings pitched, 18 hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Rich Renteria is your scheduled. Rich Renteria is your scheduled hitter, but he will be pinch hit for now that a righty's in the game. So Ken Phelps will do the pinch hitting and take over as DH for the Mariners. Big, keeping strong Ken Phelps, DH in here in the 8th inning. So big Ken Phelps will pick up a bat, and they will relieve Renteria of his duties the rest of the game. So Phelps coming on to hit against Creme, and we'll get the numbers on Phelps for the replay. On the replay, Phelps is hitting .243, 6 homers, 16 driven in. That's a 6-9 against Creme, and that's a walk. So Creme with the base on balls to Phelps. And that will bring up Quinones. So Quinones, the shortstop, is next up in line against Creme. That's a 1. It rolled over to 1 to last minute, so we're checking Creme for his wild pitch rating. Creme's wild pitch rating is a 3. No wild pitch. Stay where we are for Quinones. 4-6, and that's a pop out to third base where Gantner hauls it in, 1 away. One down for Harold Reynolds. He will now turn around and bat left-handed against the right-handed throwing Creme. 1-7 against the righty is a base on balls. So second walk issued by Krim as he's having control issues. And all of a sudden we got 2 on and only 1 out for John Moses. Phelps, however, does not run well, so he's going to clog the bases up. So Reynolds will only be able to go so fast. Here's Moses. 2-10 for Moses, and that is a 1-17 double, 2 stars. So Phelps will score from second on the double. Reynolds will have to hold at third, but it is an RBI double, and Krim is not getting the job done. Not at all. He's getting knocked around. It's now 6-3. Infield's going to have to come in with 1 out for the bat of Phil Bradley. Could walk Bradley, set up a double play with Christensen, but the Mariners may very well pinch hit if they do that and bring in Kingery. So they're going to go ahead and pitch to Bradley. 1-9, and he struck him out. So smart move there to pitch to Bradley. Gets the strikeout, 2 down. And now we have Christensen up. And if they bring in Kingery to pinch hit, they will walk Kingery intentionally. So I think they're going to leave Christensen in the game and let him swing away. Krim, 4-4. Fly ball center field X. That's Rick Manning. He's a 2E15. 2 and a 4. That's questionable. 2 and a 4 is very questionable, actually. So let's take a look on that. 2 and a 4 for a center fielder. 2 and a 4 is an F1, so he does get to it. It would be the third out, but you got to worry about the E15 for a center fielder. E15's got to avoid 4, 16, 12, and 17, and probably 18, 3 and 18. So he's an E15. That's what he is. We're looking right here, 4, 16, 12, 17, 3, and 18. That is an 11, so I think he's okay with that. E15, there is no 11, so Manning makes the play, and that's going to end the inning. Mariners get 1. They could have been worse. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Score still now comes to 6-3. Langston's going to stay in there. This is his fatigue inning. This starts his fatigue inning. He'll be facing Swain, Brock, and Paciorek for the Brew Crew, who now trail by 3 runs. 4-9, switch hitter batting right. And that's a 1-4 triple. 5-20 is a double. Leadoff double for Swain. He's 3 for 4 on this game. So he's figured Langston out. Here's Greg Brock. (5-3), and that's a fly ball left field X. Phil Bradley's a 2E5. 2 and a 6, he'll get to it. E5. 2 and a 6 is an F2, so the runner can't go anywhere. E5, he's got to avoid 4, 14, and 18. And he does. So nice play for Phil Bradley. 1 away, and Swain will retreat to second base. Here comes Jim Paciorek. He is 1 for 3. That's a 1. So Langston's wild pitch rating is a 7. But no wild pitch. Blocked by Valley. 1-11, and that is a fly ball to right field for out number 2. Two down. Now the big question mark, Swain has a chance to get to third. He's a 12. You add 2 to that, makes it a 14. Right fielder's arm -1's a 13. So 1-13, he makes it. 14-19, he holds. 20, he's out. He makes it to third base. So he will get to third with 2 down. Charlie O'Brien, your scheduled hitter, but he will not hit, obviously, as he's not a very good hitter, and they need offense. So the Brewers are going to their bench. They will go to the bench. They only have lefties on the bench, though. That's their problem. But they don't care. They're bringing in B.J. Surhoff, and he'll stay in the game to catch. But B.J. Surhoff is going to hit for O'Brien. So Surhoff will pinch hit in the 8th and catch in the 9th. So we'll bring Surhoff in with a runner at second and 2 down. Get the numbers on Surhoff. Runner numbers on Surhoff look like this. Actually, hold on, folks. There's somebody I forgot to pull. The Strat computer is, and I'm going to go by it, so we're not going to have Surhoff. Surhoff's going to catch in the 9th, but he will not be the pinch hitter because the Strat computer is telling me there's someone else on the roster that I did not think was on the roster, but I'm going to follow what the Strat computer tells me. They're telling me Rob Deere is on this roster, so I thought he was still out, but they're telling me he's in. So we're going to have Deere pinch hit in the 8th, and then we're going to have Surhoff catch in the 9th. So Rob Deere is going to be the pinch hitter, not Surhoff. Surhoff will catch in the 9th. But Rob Deere. So I got to go pull Rob Deere because I had him in my minor leagues. I thought he was injured. But the Strat computer, if we can trust the Strat computer, it's telling me that he's on the roster. It's telling me I have the option to use him. So I'm going to trust it. And we're going to have Rob Deere pinch hit. As soon as I can find his card. Shouldn't be too hard to find. I would hope anyway. It wouldn't be too hard to find. Where is the Rob Deere card? Oh, I had it here with, I didn't put him in the minors. I had him just tucked away in the originals, just backwards, so I wouldn't pull it. Same with Molitor. So there he is, Rob Deere. Will be coming on to pinch hit for Charlie O'Brien. And on the replay, Rob Deere is hitting .250, 4 homers, 16 driven in. So Deere, the right-hander, will be pinch hitting against Langston. He is a heavy strikeout guy, and he's facing a heavy strikeout pitcher. So I don't know if that means trouble or not. We shall see. Runner at third and 2 down. Langston to Deere. 4-6, and that's a strikeout for Langston. He's not tired yet, so the strikeout is good. That's strikeout number 9. Like I said, high strikeout pitcher facing a high strikeout batter, and that's exactly what we ended up with. So that's going to do it for the Brew Crew. Langston's going to go 8 innings at least, and he maintains a 6-3 lead. Surhoff will come into the game to catch the 9th inning for the Brewers. That will leave Robideau and Cooper the only 2 remaining bench players for the Brewers. They're both left-handed, Cecil Cooper and Billy Joe Robideau. All right, Krim is back out. And he will be facing the Hound Dog, Jim Presley, Alvin Davis, and Dave Valley. So the Hound Dog will lead it off here against Chuck Krim. 5-4, and it's a ballpark single check, 1-6. That's the 6th, right on the number. So it will be a base hit for the Hound Dog. And Krim, he's not sharp either. Just like Higuera, neither one of them have been sharp. And now here's Alvin Davis. And actually, we're gonna get a call to the bullpen. They're going to a left-hander to face Alvin Davis. So Krim is out of there. He's going to go 1+. He just didn't seem to have it. And John Henry Johnson will be coming on, the left-hander. Kind of in a mop-up role at this point. So Krim 1+ innings for Krim. He gave up 2 hits and 2 walks. Oops. 2 hits and 2 walks. So far, 1 run, but he's responsible for this runner. Let's see, he did strike out 1. So can't close the book on him just yet. But John Henry Johnson will be coming on. Lefty on lefty matchup with Alvin Davis. So John Henry Johnson being summoned by Tom Troublehorn. And John Henry Johnson will get a chance to see what he can do. He's 1-0 with no saves, but an ERA of 18. He's only pitched 2 innings, giving up 4 runs, 5 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. But he's going to see what he can do here against Alvin Davis, lefty on lefty. That's what he's in there for, is lefty on lefty duty. It's a 4-7, and that's a walk. So that's not what they brought him in to do. He walks Mr. Davis, and now he's got to deal with Dave Valley. First and second. Phelps is on deck, so they'll leave him in there to face Phelps as well. So face Valley and Phelps. That's a 3-5 for Valley, and that's trouble. 1 to 15 is a triple, 16 to 20 is a double. That's a triple for Dave Valley. A 2-run triple for Dave Valley. So 1 run is charged to Krim, the other one is charged to Johnson. Close the book on Krim. But a 2-run triple for Dave Valley, and he did have 3 triples on the season. It is a 2-run triple. And now it is 8-3. Infield is in, but at this point it probably doesn't even matter. That's a 2. We're checking for a balk. He has a no balk rating, so he pitched to Phelps. That's a 5-12 left-handed. It's a ground ball first base X. That is Brock. He's a 3-E10. 3 and a 3. That's, boy, I tell you what, the devil die is really hurting some of these fielders. 3 and a 3 is a G3 pound with the infield in. That's going to get through for a base hit. That will score Valley as Phelps gets the base hit. We'll check for an error. He is an E10. And that is a 12. E10, and there is no 12. But it is a base hit with the infield in. It went right by him. And now, do you leave Johnson in there to take the punishment, or do you mercifully get him out of there? I think they're going to get him out of there. And they will go to right-hander Mark Clear. Mark Crystal Clear will come in and try to mop up and get out of this inning with some dignity. So Mark Clear going to come on. Clear is 2-1 with no saves, a 1.32 earned run average, 14 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 walks, and 18 strikeouts. So Clear coming on to face Quinones with Phelps. Should be Phelps here. Make sure I write that in. I got it down there, but it's better to put it up there. So he's facing Quinones. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Quinones was not being held, so the second baseman Castillo keeps his 3E21 numbers. 3 and an 8. I'm not sure if that's going to be a double play. Looks like more like a fielder's choice to me. 3 and an 8 is a G. Actually, it's the only play is to first base. And he's an E21, so he's got to avoid 4, 13, and 17. And that 13 comes up once again, a 1-base error, so they don't even get an out. That's yet another error on the Brew Crew. That is their 3rd error of the game. So definitely a sloppy game out there. 3rd error on the Brewers. 2nd one on Castillo. He's made 2 of those errors. Here's Harold Reynolds. Can't blame Clear on that one. That should have been an out. 3-10 against the right-hander is a ground ball second base A, and that will be, I think it went off the viewing area there. 3-10 is a ground ball second base A. That's a 4-6-3 double play. And the inning is mercifully over. 3 runs come in. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Langston with a chance to go ahead and finish it out, and why not? He's got a big lead. Might as well give him a chance to finish. We'll do the numbers on Johnson and Clear. just to tidy this up. Johnson doesn't get anybody out, but he does give up 2 hits and 2 runs. That's not going to help the old ERA. A walk and no strikeouts. Clear 2/3 of an inning, giving up nothing. So, in a 9-3 ball game, Jim Gantner will be your leadoff man. Langston is out. He has given up just 1 hit, so he's still got endurance going for him. Gantner, the batter. Or wait a minute, is that less than 2? That's only 2 outs. My bad. That's only 2 outs, so we're not done yet. I was thinking that was 3 outs, but it's only 2 because there was nobody out before that. So actually, hold the phone. Clear's got to come back out and pitch to John Moses. So that's a good thing I got the computer going because that caught me on that error. So it is John Moses who's actually hitting with Phelps at third and 2 down. So it could be worse. Might be more runs. 4-5, switch hitter batting left. Now it's a strikeout by Clear, so that certainly helps. And now we adjust Clear's numbers by a strikeout and give him a full inning pitched just to make it accurate. If I can get this tape to do right. I've been wearing out this correction tape, and it's probably been messing things up a bit. So he gets the strikeout. Gets credit for the strikeout and a full inning pitched. All right, so now we can go on to Langston. Make it official. And it'll be Gantner leading things off. Against Langston. 4-7. That's ground ball shortstop X. Quinones is a 3 E31. 3 and a 9. I think he's okay with that. 3 and a 9 is a G3, which is good enough. He is an E31, so he has to avoid 4, 6, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 8 he does, so it's good play for Mr. Quinones, and they retire Gantner. 1 away. Langston going for that complete game, and why not? Here's Castillo. 5-6, switch hitter batting right, and that is a strikeout. 10th strikeout for Langston. 10th strikeout for Mr. Langston. How many times you see a guy nowadays get a complete game with 10 strikeouts? You're not going to see that in these days at all. Here's Manning. 4-6, and that's a strikeout to end the ball game. Strikeout number 11. Langston finishes in style. There is your ball game. So that's why I said you couldn't go by the records because the dice may have other ideas. On paper, it looked like an easy Milwaukee win, but that's why you roll the games. Final score of 9-3 for the Mariners. 9 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. For the Brewers, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors. Or is it 8 hits? Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm going to 7 hits. Okay, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors. Left on base, Mariners left on 10, Brewers left on 9. So there you go. Winning pitcher is Langston. He's going to go 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, and 11 strikeouts to get the complete game victory. Higuera takes the loss. He drops to 3-2. Langston with the win improves to 3-4. And with the loss, the Brewers have now catapulted the Yankees back into a half-game lead on the American League East. Yankees now lead by a half a game as we go to the standings. Brewers fall to 19-8. And the Yankees are at 20-8. So the Yankees have a half-game lead on the Brew Crew. Seattle with the win breaks a long losing streak and then now improved to 10-19. They get their double-digit wins. So now all teams have at least 10 wins, and all teams except for the Yankees and Brewers have at least 10 losses. So, and interestingly, according to the Strat-O-Matic computer, the home teams are 96 and 94 in 190 games. The home teams are 96 and 94. So having the home field advantage virtually means nothing in this replay because there is no built-in home field advantage in this game. So other than your last at bat, that's the only advantage you get. So that's your final there, 9-3, a laugher as it turns out, in favor of the Mariners. Final game of the replay on this date of the May 8th, 1987. We will be deep in the heart of Texas. It will be the Toronto Blue Jays, 15-10 against the 11-13 Texas Rangers. Jim Clancy for the Blue Jays and Jose Guzman for the Texas Rangers. That's going to be your next game probably tomorrow at some point. Also tomorrow we will have, I'm going to try to play 2 games, one in the morning and one in the evening. We have an inside pitch, 1977. Philadelphia Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. So that would make sense to play that in the day because we're at Wrigley Field in 1977. So that is a day game. And at nighttime, we will be in Texas to play the game between Toronto and Texas, and that will finish off the May 8th block of games. So I appreciate you all spending part of your morning with me as we traverse through this replay. And hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, whatever you have planned. Tabby's still resting, so I don't want to disturb her. But anyway, I invite you to go out and enjoy the hobby, play whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And until then, I will see you all down the road.